Welcome to Canada!
Hello everyone, it's Ben from Gamin and in my last update video I talked about how I was going to have a road trip to Toronto, a day trip because I had to pick my parents up from the airport, and that's what this episode is about. Unfortunately, when I was in Toronto I didn't really have enough time to go to any game stores. I did go to One Value Village, but they had nothing in terms of video games. I have actually bought some video game stuff since, but because this is also partly about Toronto, I will talk about some of the other stuff I did find there, but first I'm going to talk about the video game stuff I bought. Now, this was actually all at Microplay yesterday, but so I'm just going to get through that. Actually, no, some of it was at The Beat Goes On. Just sort through what I got in each place. Alright. So at Microplay, I picked up Pitfall: The Main Adventures. This is actually a complete copy, and everything's in really good condition for the Sega Genesis. This is a platformer game where it's based on the same original Atari game. I actually remember playing this on the PC a while, years ago. It came for free, I think. It was a fun platformer, and now I have the Genesis version. The Super Nintendo version I heard is better, but how often do you find a game like this in perfect condition complete? It was $10. I thought, yeah, that was worth it for a game I enjoyed playing, and it's complete. Another game I picked up was Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey. Normally I wouldn't pick up sports games for anything more than $1, but this game's actually fun. It was also one of the older N64 games, and there's this thing where you can set the net on fire if you shoot properly. And yeah, I think it's one of the, since it was made by Midway, it's also one of the precursors to the NHL Hits games, which I also like. There's that. Another two games I picked up for the Xbox 360, Castlevania Lord of Shadows. I've been interested in trying this game for a while. It's complete, both discs. It's in very good condition. I've been interested in playing it for a while, so looking forward to that. And the other game I picked up, this is completely the joke purchase, Kinect Star Wars. From what I've heard, at least, the dancing game in it, yes, this has a dancing game. The dancing game's supposed to be kind of fun. And then the pod racing game actually works. Everything else is just crap. Yeah, it's complete. Also, very good condition. And then I later went to The Beat Goes On, where I let's take out a few things here. Sorry. So I went to The Beat Goes On, and I bought a couple game-related things there. First, I bought X-Men Destiny for the DS. I already have the Xbox version, but this is unfortunately not made by Silicon Knights, the company that went under shortly after, so it never had the same port order. It'll never be as valuable, but I still don't think it's going to be good. It's probably going to be based on the same story. It's complete, good condition. It'll be worth a laugh. Another game I picked up another game there. I actually used the stamp card to get this one for free. And it's Dance Central 2. I already have the first one. It's kind of a fun party game if you have the Kinect, which I basically got for free. It's complete, although there's actually a bit of a marker on the disc. Otherwise, it's in very good condition. You can get. And I also got two other things that the beat goes on. First thing I got was this graphic novel, X-Men Sword. Sword is basically the extraterrestrial branch of S.H.I.E.L.D. They take care of extraterrestrial threats, and this is just fun. It's written by Kieran Gillen. He's a very good writer. And then the other thing I picked up that's only slightly game-related is the Van Helsing movie. I know it's terrible. I just watched it, and it's really bad. Though why it's game-related is because it has a demo for the Xbox 360, for the Xbox game on it. That's the only reason I picked it up, really. I haven't played the demo yet. I'm looking forward to seeing whether the game is as bad as the movie. So that's all the game-related stuff I picked up. Now for the Toronto trip. So, like I said, I didn't really have enough time to go to any game stores, because I had to pick my parents up from the airport, and their plane was actually a little bit early. But I did go to a couple comic stores. And, oh yeah, the other game-related thing about it, my story, was this hat, this Zelda hat. That's why I forgot to remember it, it's on my head. So people usually forget their glasses. So, the first thing I bought at one of the comic stores is the Fantastic Four Dark Reign. It's written by Jonathan Hickman, the same guy that did a fairly recently Fantastic Four run, which I would argue is one of the best FF runs ever. Although, then again, I've only really read 4 Fantastic Four runs, and actually only 3 in total. 3 full runs and a little bit of Stan Lee's original. But this is a good storyline. It takes place right around the time when S.H.I.E.L.D. is kind of down, and Hammer has kind of taken over as the ultimate security force for the States, and it's run by Norman Osborn. Yes, Green Goblin Norman Osborn is in charge of the United States security. And that's around the time this takes place. It was pretty good. And then the other store I went to, it's called the BMV store. There's, I think, 3 branches. I went to the one in Bloor. It's probably the best independent bookstore I've ever been to. So before I get into what I got there, I'm going to describe it. There's 4 floors, right? There's the ground level floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, and a basement. The ground level floor has some used books. It has a really good selection of horror books. I looked through them. Didn't get anything from there, but there's that. The 2nd floor has a lot of guidebooks, art books for magazines. Half the floor is for kids' books. A lot of the stuff there is used or marked down. The 3rd floor is nothing but comics and fantasy books. And then the basement is all about movies, music, books about music, and there's a small little section for video games. In the section for video games, they actually had a new copy of the Killzone Shadowfall, or whatever the Shadow game is, for the PlayStation 4. A new copy for $30. I would have picked it up if I had a PlayStation 4. I don't, and I still have to get my PS3 either fixed or replaced, so I'm not gonna get something for the PS4 right now, but yeah, that was actually kind of awesome. Some of the used game prices were pretty good, some of them were eh. But the only stuff I really picked up there were comic related. And yeah, so pretty sure I picked up I'll just get into what I have here. But first of all, I picked up the X-Men Mutant Massacre graphic novel. This is actually one of the really famous storylines in the series. It's a storyline where a bunch of sword-dwelling mutants are murdered. It's really dark, kind of brutal, but I haven't read it yet, but it's supposed to be really good. The cover price for it is $35. The store had it marked down for $15. That's a lot cheaper than you get it if you ordered it online. They recently reprinted it. This is an older printing, but it's, apart from a slight mark on some of the corners, it's pretty much mid condition, and you can even get this in stores if you buy it, or if you buy it new. It can just be shipping damage, and that's really not a big deal. So that was really cool. And then I also picked up a bunch of individual issues as well. First of all, there's the Cable series, Cable issue 84 for $1.50. It's about the same as you would pay if you ordered it online, except no shipping. So that was nice, and I'm really close to finishing this series right now. I only have 4 issues left. So that's really cool. And then another series that I'm slowly working to finish the collection for, it's called Witchblade. And I found 4 issues of that there. 35, 37, 39, and 51. It's actually a really fun series where it's about Sarah Pazzini, who's a cop and gets possession of this really powerful ancient artifact that, if you're into comics and you like delightfully weird stuff, you should check the series out. It's delightfully weird. It gets kind of epic sometimes, and it's just fun. Great characterization too, at least once it gets to issue 80. And then I also picked up these 4 issues. I'm not ashamed to admit that this is actually my favorite Marvel Comics character and actually got me into comics. But I got 4 issues of X-23. This is, she's Wolverine's teenage female clone, / daughter, / genetic twin. It gets kind of confusing when you really think about it. But there's issue 1, 2, and 6 from her origin story miniseries. Each of these were $1.50. The first one would actually be worth at least $5 if I was to order it online, so that's really good. And then they're all $1.50 each, so 1, 2, and 6. These are all in basically mint condition too. And then also issue 2 from the sequel series of 23 Target X. These are both 6-issue miniseries. I actually already have them in trade paperback form, but it's kind of cool to find them in individual issue so that I can actually start a collection of those as well. And for $1.50 each, when they'd be worth a lot more than that if I ordered them online plus extra shipping. All the comics I bought there were in mint condition too. That was, if I ever take another road trip to Toronto, that might be the first place I go to. So I'm sorry there wasn't more game related stuff this time, but again, I didn't really find anything in Toronto. I was hoping to. So I guess that's it for this episode. See you next time.